You know, sometimes a case comes along that just makes you stop and look. It's not about having 16 fans or a crazy price tag, it's about doing something completely different with the design. That's exactly what Phanteks is aiming for the Evolv X2 Matrix. They're calling it a see-through chassis, and honestly, that's not just the marketing fluff here. But with all this glass and a unique layout, does it actually work, or is it just a pretty face? And the Matrix thing here, well, it's this unique pixel-like sort of invisible display that is pretty unique. So let's see what it has to offer. First up, the case dimensions. This thing stands tall at 588mm in height, 454mm in depth and 228 in width. It's actually not that wide case, but it's an imposing tower, no doubt about that, because it's super tall. The overall design-wise, the Evolv X2 is instantly recognizable. The big deal here is the three-sided tempered glass and that signature C-shaped aluminum frame inside that you can see right through all that glass. It gives this incredible illusion that your GPU is actually floating in the middle of the case. It's an actual proper showpiece of a case. The build quality feels premium here with brushed aluminum accents that are the real deal here, not some plastic thing. But, and you know there was a but here, to hit a certain price point they've used plastic for the feet and some internal parts. It's smart cost cutting thing here, and it doesn't ruin the vibe at all. And the thing that is different from the regular X2 here, the sides now have this fabric material on them. It does look cool and also is a see-through, so the pixel display on the bottom edge can shine through all that thing. Pretty dope idea actually. The front I/O panel is in a bit of unusual spot. It's on the front left side, down low near the foot. You get USB 3.2 Gen 2 by 2 Type-C port, 2 USB 3.0 Type-A ports and a single audio combo jack. The power and the reset buttons though, they are up on the top panel. It's a slight separation you gotta get used to. Getting to the interior is a multi-step process here, but it's logical. The top panel pops off first, and then it reveals two screws, one for the front panel and one for the rear panel as well. The front glass panel is held by two screws, one at the top and one hidden behind the drive shroud at the bottom. It's not the fastest way to completely strip this case, but it feels secure and well engineered. Now the front panel is actually just that, it's just glass. There is a zero fan or radiator support in the front and actually on the side as well, because this case is all about that chimney airflow style, so the front is purely for the view here. The interior is where that chimney design becomes clear and apparent. It's a clear open chamber. Your motherboard sits in the middle with a massive amount of space below it for the GPU and intake fans. Cable routing holes are plentiful, and they even have rubber grommets on the side vertical pass-throughs. It's a nice premium touch. Crucially, it has back connect motherboard support for all those new BDF and Project Zero boards. And the actual motherboard support is also great, up to extended ATX 280mm in width, standard ATX size, micro ATX and ITX. The standoffs are pre-installed, and they even include a little tool to adjust them if needed. For the CPU and GPU clearance, you've got some limits to consider. For air coolers, you are capped at 170mm, and that actually rules out the biggest twin tower heatsinks. The case is really designed with a top AIO in mind. For the GPU, get 380mm in length and 170mm in width, which is still enough for almost any card, including chunky monsters. So let's talk fan and radiator support, because this is a key part of that chimney philosophy. At the bottom it supports three 120mm fans as intake. This is the primary source of fresh air. The fan and radiator bracket here is removable with a single thumb screw from the back side, and it is recessed, so fans are sitting flush once mounted with the rest of the case frame. There is also a full-size dust filter spanning across the complete bottom area. It's accessed from the front of the case for easier access and cleaning later. At the top, it supports three 120mm fans or 360mm radiators in size, up to 32mm thick width fans. The bracket is also removable here. There's extra space above it, so you could even do a push-pull setup here. It also allows for tubes to exit on the rear side of the case, thus allowing you to have zero tubes visible in the front, since the case is all about that aesthetic show. At the rear, it supports a single 120mm exhaust fan, which might be better to be used as an intake fan, as it can and will aid the CPU cooling a bit if you do it that way. So for the radiator support, your main and really only logical spot is the top 360mm spot. The manual says that the bottom can technically fit a 240mm radiator, but you would be choking its intake, so it's a bad idea. I mean, you would be choking the GPU anyway. Looking at the rear side, you've got 8 reusable PCI Express slots. There's a clever little cover plate that hides the slot screws for a cleaner look. They've even included Velcro straps on the outside to manage your monitor and peripheral cables. It's a fantastic, thoughtful touch. The rear 120mm fan position is a bit restricted by the frame, which isn't ideal. The back panel removal reveals the cable management zone here and storage support. This is a highlight of this case actually. There's a huge hinged metal door that covers the entire backside, so you can hide a world of cables behind it. And for the storage, you get 3 2.5-inch SSD mounts on the back of the motherboard tray using this caddy thingy. In the PSU shroud below, there's a removable cage that can hold either 2 3.5 drives or 1 3.5 and 2 2.5-inch drives. So they tell you that removing it improves airflow, and they're actually right. For the build and thermals here, I used Ryzen 7 9800X3D paired with the Radeon RX 9070 XT GPU using the stock fan config, so the rear fan is an exhaust fan at first. Idle temps were excellent, 38 to 39 degrees, gaming was in the mid-50s, around 56 degrees, which for this much open case is not ideal, since the GPU can heat up the CPU area, and here is where adding a reverse fan, actually reversing the rear fan, can help with a degree or two lower temps for the CPU. And the same philosophy goes for the load temperatures here. They are better, maxing out at 73 degrees with a rear mounted fan while stress testing it in Cinebench. GPU, on the other hand, has amazing temperatures all the time. Idle is at comfy 24 degrees. Yeah, seriously, it was sitting there all the time doing nothing. While in some light loads 36 is the temperature, and while gaming 47 degrees is the maximum this card hits. So for the GPU cooling here, this case excels, while CPU temperatures would benefit if it had side intake fans, for example. Thus, reversing the rear fan can be beneficial here. As for the building experience, it is mostly excellent. The removable fan brackets, the clean cable channels, and that magic hiding door makes everything straightforward and super easy. It's actually one of the easiest cases to build in, as everything falls into place naturally. And then there is the Matrix thing, a cool pixelated screen that spans across complete bottom border. You can use the Phanteks own NextLink software to customize it, although it has limitations as to what can be displayed here. For example, CPU and GPU temperatures can't be displayed with added Celsius suffix. On top of that, it can't even say GPU or CPU, it just says C or G, and for the majority of time it was reading my GPU temperatures completely wrong. I double checked, there is a setting that you can choose to either display temperature from the internal GPU or for the external GPU. It was properly set for the external GPU, but again it was showing wrong temperatures. So the software here needs some loving, but the idea is so cool, and I like it how they hid this pixelated display underneath this fabric that surrounds the complete case sides. As you might remember, on the previous models it was all brushed aluminum, but now it's this fabric thingy. It's actually cooler than aluminum in my opinion. Alright, pros and cons time. For the pros, it's stunning, it has a unique aesthetic, the three-sided glass and floating GPU effect is a real showstopper. Its excellent build quality and materials are out of this world. Real brushed aluminum here, thick glass and sturdy frame feel super premium. It has superb cable management. The hinged back door is a genius feature here for that flawless final look. It has thoughtful details here, external Velcro straps on the behind, rubber grommets everywhere, and the clean PCI slot covers as well. It actually has good GPU cooling. The bottom intake fans, they directly feed the graphics card with fresh air, and it works very well. It has back connect motherboard support, so actually it future-proofs your build for cleaner looks. And the pixel display is a nice touch, really sets the unique tone of this case. But there are of course some cons. You have a limited CPU air cooler height, only 170mm, but this case anyway is really pushing you towards a 360mm AIO anyway for that clean look. PSU cable routing with large GPUs can be tight and may require creative solutions, but again I had no issues with 3 8-pin cables anyway. But now we come to the restricted rear fan exhaust. The frame blocks part of the rear fan, which is suboptimal here, plus it is better to use it as an intake fan by placing a reverse blade here for better looks actually. And it also has 0 fans included for a case at this price you're investing your own cooling ecosystem from day one. The front I/O placement is kind of strange. You have power button and reset button up top and the ports on the side. It's a minor annoyance actually. But on the another positive side, you have RGB strip that spans across the bottom side of the case and on the top side of the case as well. So the Phanteks Evolv X2 Matrix isn't trying to be the highest performance airflow case, it's trying to be a functional work of art, and it absolutely succeeds in doing so. So if you want a build that is breathtaking, clean looking, especially with a top AIO and powerful GPU, this case makes it almost super easy for that. You are paying for that design and those premium materials here, and you need to budget for your own fans. But if your goal is to create a PC that looks as incredible as it performs, the Evolv X2 Matrix is one of the most compelling and unique options out there. It's a confident, standout design in a sea of mesh boxes. So what do you think, guys, here? Is the Evolv X2 stunning look worth the trade-offs and the extra cost for the fans? Would you build in it, or is it too much glass for you? Let me know down in the comments, and if you enjoyed this deep dive, hit that like button. If you didn't, make sure to hit the dislike button, but make sure to do it twice. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next one.